Hello, my name is Eric Mitchell. Welcome to the ABCD segment on BNN. Today we'll be talking about ABCD's William J. Ostiguy High School. And here to help us with that conversation is the principal, Roger Oser. Welcome, Roger.
Thank you, Eric. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. So let's just start from the top. Just, talk to me a little bit about what is the Ostiguy High School.
Yeah, so we were just talking before we got on there. Time has flown, really. It's been 7 years now. The school's in the 7th year. And it's a recovery high school for young people in recovery from substance abuse that is operated by ABCD in collaboration with the Boston Public Schools, and our substance abuse partner is the Gavin Foundation. So we're really trying to provide a foundation for young people in recovery to continue in their academics while they continue to work on being sober and adjusting to life, not relating to life through their jug of choice, but kind of being sober and dealing with the problems and challenges as a sober young person, and we're trying to provide them supports to do that.
Okay, so you said it's a recovery high school. Is that concept, is that fairly new? I mean, you said 7 years, but...
Yeah, no, it's fairly new to the state of Massachusetts. There's recovery high schools throughout the country, and they started in, I think, in the mid-'80s, 1980s. But our school, William J. Ostiguy High School, and two other recovery high schools, one in Beverly and one in Springfield, started 7 years ago at the beginning of the 2006-2007 school year. And now there's a fourth school in Brockton. And the reason they created the schools was what they found is young people who made the effort to get sober, to get clean, when they got out of treatment or counseling, or after they had made that effort to get clean, when they would go back to their old schools, it's in recovery talk, it's old people, places, and things. They'd go back to some of the same influences, and their relapse rates would be very high, almost 100% within a short period of time. So the concept was, the young people are making the effort to get clean and sober, why not provide a school, a safe place for them, where there will be things like mandatory drug testing, which our students have to do. We have a licensed substance abuse counselor on staff through the Gavin Foundation. Students are required to work an outside plan of recovery after school to support their recovery needs. And most importantly of all, the peer environment. Having young people sitting in classrooms with them, in the counseling groups with them that are going through similar experiences, and that can be there for supports as they go through the challenges of being in early recovery.
So being in recovery, I'd imagine you do have some setbacks, and so how do you, as an adult, that's one thing, but when you're a high school student and you're going through recovery, you have to stay in school. How do you guys handle that?
Yeah, well, addiction, first of all, it's a really complicated disease. And notice how I use the word disease. Right. We don't look at it as a moral character flaw or an issue. It's something that, similar to diabetes or many other chronic health conditions, if you treat it with care and you put an effort into addressing that issue and a support network around you, that it could really, you can manage that disease and you can live a healthy, happy life. So that's what we're trying to do with these young people. They're in early recovery, and yes, for some of them, for anyone in recovery, a relapse might be part of that equation, but just because you relapse doesn't mean that you can't take advantage of the supports around you to get back on track, to get clean and sober, and stay engaged on the path of school and recovery. So our relapse policy accounts for relapse. We don't terminate students, we don't expel them, but we certainly have to take the safety of the individual and the school into account and make sure that someone who's really struggling with their sobriety, we find them supports. Sometimes that's outside of the school to help them get back on track.
And you said drug testing and support groups. How often does that happen?
Sure. The drug testing is mandatory, and it's at least once a week, and it's supervised, meaning we hire a company that comes in, and they supervise the drug testing. They go into the bathroom with the students. I know it's kind of weird, kind of awkward, but for a young person in recovery, they actually appreciate that kind of safety and that check on the safety of the school community, because they don't want someone next to them who's actively using. And then as part of our school curriculum, it's really the focus is on the academics, but we do, through the Gavin Foundation, have, in addition to our recovery counselor on staff, have another counselor who comes in and runs 3 groups a week, and each student is part of one of those groups that's focused on their recovery. The students run some of their own groups. They run a group Friday afternoon that they kind of facilitate with the help of the recovery counselor focused on recovery. And then we have community group, we have a boys and girls group, we have a Monday morning group, not necessarily focused on recovery, but focused on building that community that's necessary for any school, but especially for young people in recovery to provide them the supports to feel like they can stay on track and be successful in school.
So you mentioned curriculum. Can you talk a little bit more about the curriculum with all of the groups that you just mentioned, all of that? Are you losing anything? Do you have extracurriculars?
Well, I have to say, we're in year 7 of the school, and I'm extremely proud of the academic rigor that we've developed at Ostiguy High. These young people, once they're in recovery, are very bright, very intelligent. The positions we've added to the school are a second guidance counselor, an online teacher, a special education teacher. These are academic positions to help facilitate their academic growth and improvement. So the teachers are Boston Public School teachers. We have outstanding teachers at Ostiguy High. They're implementing the Massachusetts curriculum frameworks. And the one thing that's really unique and challenging for us in a lot of respects is we have students coming in at all times of the year. Students come out of treatment. We accept students each marking period. So the teachers have to be able to adjust the curriculum to account for students coming in and out of the population. And our teachers at Ostiguy do an excellent job of facilitating that piece.
And how about testing? I imagine if it's part of the public school system, they do MCAS.
Yeah, our students have to pass MCAS. So some of them who come to us as seniors have already taken MCAS. Many of them who come to us as underclassmen, we provide them MCAS prep classes and supports. But in general, their pass rates are very high, and most of our graduating seniors do go on to college.
So do you help them with college prep?
Absolutely. We have two awesome guidance counselors, Joel and Joelle, who do a lot of work. We've gone on probably over 10 college site visits this year. We do a parent financial aid night. We partner with Massachusetts Rehabilitation Commission because students with an addiction issue can get some financial support. And we do lots of different things to support their transition from high school to secondary to college.
So imagine, I guess, there are parents watching us right now. How do they apply to the school?
Sure. I mean, I would really push anyone who's interested in learning more about Ostiguy High. We have a really good website now, ostiguyhigh.org, O-S-T-I-G-U-Y high.org. And it has the application process on the website. But it's very simple. If you have a young person who you think might have a drug or alcohol problem, you can call us and we can set up an open house anytime. We do them all days of the week, anytime, morning and afternoon, if we have to in the evening, to make sure that we can meet with a young person and their family to kind of see if they're ready to make a commitment to coming to Recovery High School. And once we do that, the application process is very quick. We want to get young people motivated for recovery into school, into a recovery environment as quickly as possible.
So in addition to your academic goals, I'm sure you have some other goals. What is success for a student at Ostiguy or Ostiguy itself?
Yeah, I mean, I think success for a student at Ostiguy would be success for a student at Boston Latin. In some respects, you want to graduate high school, you want to go to a college of your choice. And I think what makes the experience at Ostiguy really special for students is they're doing that on the foundation of being in recovery. So obviously, one of the big goals for our students is extended periods of sobriety. When these young people were using, it wasn't just that they were doing bad in school, they were just failing in life. They weren't able to maintain relationships with their parents, with their friends, their families. They're involved in dangerous activities. Some of them were homeless, involved in lots of very chaotic, unhealthy activities. And now once they get sober, they can get their diploma, they can think about going to college, but as important, they can be present again with their family, in their community, and just experience joy as a sober person.
How would you distinguish Ostiguy from any other program that might be, it's similar, more similar than dissimilar?
Well, that's a good question. I would say that, not to brag, I think we have a really good model. And I think part of that's because of ABCD and how they operate, how Gavin Foundation, our collaborating partner, is part of it, the Boston Public Schools. It's just a very talented group of people who have come to put the school together. And I was talking to you earlier today, the mayor of Worcester came out with some superintendents from the middle part of the state because they would like to start a school, and they're coming to our school to learn from ABCD, from the Boston Public Schools, from the Gavin Foundation about how we do it. It's not easy, and we have to, every day is, you turn the page, you have a good day today, doesn't mean you'll have a good one tomorrow. We have to stay vigilant, we have to work hard, and we're always looking to support the best interests of our students and families.
And what's the length of the school day?
Our school is in operation from 8 o'clock in the morning until 2:45. And then, in addition to the school day, students are coming in on school breaks. We do a summer program. They have to drug test on school breaks. We don't go a week without having a student being drug tested or engaging them in some sort of activity. And in the summer, we run a summer program through ABCD, Summer Works program. So it's all about engagement all year round.
So I want to thank you, Roger, for joining us. I certainly have learned a lot. I hope that those in our audience have learned as much as I have. And to find out more about ABCD and the Ostiguy High School, go to ABCD's website at www.bostonabcd.org or call 617-348-6000 or the Ostiguy website that Roger mentioned earlier, which was ostiguy
High.org.
ostiguyhigh.org. With that, thank you for tuning to the ABCD segment on BNN. My name is Eric Mitchell.